Coming up, it's been 1 year since Hurricane Irma hit the Sunshine State. What Sarasota County is doing to be better prepared for the next storm. Plus, an investigation underway after a man was found murdered over the weekend in Northport. What we know about the homicide so far. And you are what you eat, the best foods for a healthy heart. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at noon.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. First today at noon, the very busy tropics. We're keeping a close eye on 3 hurricanes today: Florence, Isaac, and Helene. Then take a look at this satellite view of Hurricane Florence, now barreling towards the east coast of the United States. The National Hurricane Center predicting Florence will approach the southeastern U.S. coast Thursday into Friday as a Category 3 storm or stronger. Let's get the latest on that now with meteorologist John Scalzi, who joins us now with our first alert weather. This is a very impressive looking hurricane today.
It's the real deal.
Yeah.
It's the real deal. And intensity forecasts are really difficult, as you well know. And of all the things that we have gained skill in, intensity forecasting lags behind. We have now a Category 3 storm. And it is continuing to show all signs of developing even stronger in the days ahead, most likely to a Category 4 storm, and who knows, even higher. We're looking at the water temperatures out ahead of this storm, and it's just fuel. I mean, it's way up into the 80s. There is no reason whatsoever to think that this storm will not continue strengthening and have an effect far beyond just where it makes landfall. Now, for us here locally, we're not going to see much from this storm, except perhaps a little breezier wind might be possible, and possibly even drying us out a little bit as we head into the weekend. Right now, we're not seeing a whole lot of action. A few scattered showers around. We'll probably see that over the course of the next couple of hours. The west wind that we continue to have brings us about a 30% chance of showers through the afternoon, with plenty of sunshine boosting our temperatures into the upper 80s. We'll probably top it out today at around 90 degrees or so, with as we head through the afternoon, lesser and lesser rain chances. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. 1 year ago today, Florida braced for an impact as Hurricane Irma made 2 landfalls in the Sunshine State, a Category 4 in the Florida Keys, and then a weaker Category 3 near Marco Island. The storm caused extensive damage across the state and here on the Suncoast. One of the biggest lasting effects from Irma, the piles of yard debris, which took months to be collected. Since then, we've learned some valuable lessons from the storm. Some include Florida Power and Light making changes to handle high volumes of traffic on the company's mobile application and its website. And Sarasota County also realized it needed to adjust its emergency plan and evacuation centers. The city of Sarasota also learning a few things.
And I think one of the biggest lessons we learned that we could be experiencing water main breaks during a hurricane. Who would have thunk it? But because the water mains are underground. The biggest thing we really need right now, though, is for all of our emergency shelters to be equipped with backup generators.
Irma, a great reminder that you should have a family emergency plan in place and supplies ready if a storm heads our way again this season. And if you do get your hurricane kits ready, it's also important to think about your pets. All your pets should have enough food and water for at least 5 days. Remember to have litter for cats, sturdy leashes, and pet carriers. Also have a current photo of your pet just in case you get separated. And have your animal's vet and vaccination records as well.
It's so important to remember pets are family members too, and you need to prepare for them in the case of a natural disaster and a hurricane, especially here on the coast. So you want to make sure you have plenty of bottled water for them as well. Make sure you have proper carriers so that you can take them with you in the case of an evacuation and safely house them.
Something you should also remember: if it isn't safe for you, it isn't safe for your pet. It's also recommended you get your pet microchipped before storm in case you get separated. Remember, we have all kinds of information on our website to help you prepare for hurricanes. Go to mysuncoast.com, and then under the weather tab, you'll find a link to our 1-hour hurricane special called Surviving the Storm. You'll also find a Principal 2018 Hurricane Guide. New at noon, Charlotte County Sheriff's deputies are investigating the death of a 2-year-old child. Deputies say they were called to a home on Washington Loop in Punta Gorda yesterday afternoon around 4:30 for a missing toddler. But before deputies got there, family members found the child in a pond on the property. Paramedics tried to save the child but were unable to. Sheriff's Office says this is still an active investigation. We're learning more today about a Northport murder investigation. A man was found dead Saturday near the Charlotte County line. Here's what we know so far. The victim is 20-year-old Tyron Kennard. His death has been ruled a homicide, and even more unsettling, neighbors tell us that the spot where he was actually found is a school bus stop for kids who live in that area. Kennard's body was found off of Sawyer Circle and Richbriar Drive. After determining he was murdered, detectives have been trying to piece together just how he ended up there. They later found Kennard's car in Charlotte County. This is the 5th murder in Northport so far this year.
Cases we've had so far this year, everyone's pretty much, accounted for. We kind of know who the players are. These haven't been random type of acts. So I think, I don't know that the public needs to be concerned with just randomly getting attacked. I mean, obviously that can happen at any time, anywhere, but those aren't the types of cases that we're seeing right now.
Anyone with information is asked to call Northport Police. Developing in Bradenton, a separate death investigation. Detectives are looking for answers after a woman's death. 37-year-old Maria De Jesus was found last Monday near Center Court Apartments in Bradenton. Deputies say she had bruising and other injuries. De Jesus was taken to the hospital, but then died on Saturday. Florida lawmakers are making it official now. They will not comply with Governor Scott's push to give school districts an additional $58 million to hire more campus police. In late August, Scott asked legislators to move that money from the state's Guardian program. Under the Guardian program, school districts were eligible to receive money to train school staff to be armed guardians. But most school districts decided to hire school resource officers instead. Lawmakers set aside additional money for school resource officers and the Guardian program after the deadly shooting in Parkland. Now to that new Me Too fallout. The longtime chief executive of CBS, Les Moonves, is out this morning after 6 more women came forward with disturbing allegations of sexual misconduct, in addition to the 7 women who had already come forward with accusations against the media mogul. ABC's Maggie Rulli has the story.
The head of CBS is out. Les Moonves is stepping down amid new accusations of sexual assault and harassment.
It is the first example of a Fortune 500 CEO, someone who is really thought to be immune to criticism, has stepped down.
Ronan Farrow's behind the just published New Yorker article featuring 6 women, detailing allegations spanning 3 decades. One of those women, Phyllis Golden Gottlieb, says Moonves sexually assaulted her in 1986 and alleges a separate incident.
And he picked me up and threw me against the wall. I mean, I just lay on the floor and cried.
Another woman, former massage therapist Deborah Kate, says Moonves requested sexual acts during sessions, which she refused.
He would ask me to work into his genital areas.
And one former assistant claims Moonves coerced oral sex, calling it violent and aggressive. Moonves denies all of these allegations, and today in a statement says the appalling accusations in this article are untrue. What is true is that I had consensual relations with 3 of the women some 25 years ago before I came to CBS, and I have never used my position to hinder the advancement or careers of women. CBS says an independent sexual misconduct investigation is underway. Farrow says this story is about more than just Moonves.
This is about a culture of women saying allegations were being covered up. And a lot of that centered on CBS News, and those problems are still there.
Moonves and CBS have announced they're immediately donating $20 million to organizations that support the Me Too movement, and that money will come directly out of any future severance Moonves may receive. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
New at noon, an important new safety improvement at SRQ. The new air traffic control tower at Sarasota Bradenton International Airport, dedicated this morning. The $25 million, 128-foot tall tower is a significant investment at the airport through a unique partnership. A third was funded by the federal government, a third by the state, and then another third paid for through airport funds. Airport officials say the tower helps air traffic controllers provide safer and more efficient service.
Things. One, it enhances the safety of the airport. We had some minor line of sight problems with the old location. It also puts the latest technology in there, so it enhances safety.
Another major project underway at Sarasota Bradenton International, the addition of 13 new jet bridges. That project will cost around $13 million and is scheduled to be complete by December or January. Still to come in your Suncoast News, a puppy in Iowa recovering after getting emergency treatment from a drug overdose. What investigators think he consumed while visiting a hotel. And overnight, another SpaceX liftoff, what was launched into orbit early this morning.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
If you don't want to fall immediately into love, look away. If you don't want to awaken a desire for excellence, look away. If you don't want to be seduced, please look away.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Attention, do you have Medicare? Do you want to make sure you have the most benefits and lowest possible out-of-pocket costs? You may be able to lower your out-of-pocket costs and get dental, vision, and prescription drug coverage included in your plan. Call the Medicare Coverage Helpline now to find out what you deserve.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Buchwald. Over 3 million people have called the Medicare Coverage Helpline, but there are still many people who don't check to see if they're eligible for more benefits and lower out-of-pocket costs. It's so easy. One simple free call could save you money and get you more benefits. Be smart. Call the Medicare Coverage Helpline now.
Call now to see if you may be eligible to lower your copays and get extra benefits, including dental and prescription coverage. Don't delay. Call to see if you're able to save money and get more benefits now. Call 1-800-711-7200. Again, call 1-800-711-7200 now.
Call to see if you qualify to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan right now. At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable monthly plan premium, and in some areas, no plan premium. It's all described in this free book. Call for yours and discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. There is no obligation and the book is free. Call or go online right now.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So, you know, we've had two patterns that have established themselves this summer, and they're the east wind flow and the west wind flow. And then we have a little slight variations on that, whether it's northeast or southeast or whatever. But basically an east flow or a west flow. Right now we're in the west flow, and that tends to favor these little morning showers, small things that we get during the dawn hours. And then again, another maximum of shower chances at about this time through maybe the next hour or two before everything moves inland and we're left with a pretty quiet afternoon. And the rainfall amounts have kind of gone down just a little bit compared to where we were last week when we had those big storms that would move through during the later afternoon and evening. We'll return to that east wind pattern with those late afternoon showers and thunderstorms. But for the next couple of days, we're going to have a pattern very similar to what we had yesterday and to what we have again today. 85 degrees the current air temperature. We have a heat index of 94. Plenty of moisture around thanks to the southerly westerly wind flow across the area. And again, our rain chance only at about 30% near the coastline. It's higher than that in inland areas because all of the showers that build will be pushed inland. Right now, the rain chance is about 30%. By the time we get to 3 p.m., we'll probably have a rain chance of about 10% near the coast because everything will be moving inland. And it will continue to move inland as we progress through the afternoon. So I think the evening and most of the overnight will be just fine. Now toward dawn, we have a chance at some more showers that build out in Gulf waters and gradually are pushed closer to the coastline, just as we have right now. As far as total rainfall amounts go, probably not get all that many. We have an isolated shower popping up here and there. Right now, the heaviest of the rain falling near Rotunda on its way toward Northport, but nothing all that heavy. Forecast calls for a general westerly wind to continue for 2 more days. Then the high pressure ridge turns the wind around to an east wind, which favors showers and thunderstorms building in the afternoon and drifting back toward our coastline. So 2 more days of the east wind. 3 systems, well, actually 4 that we're watching. Of course, 3 hurricanes, Helene, Isaac, and Florence. And then this disturbance, Disturbance 1, pretty close to home, but on a track that should carry it out toward the Bay of Campeche, the western Gulf waters. There it has a good chance of developing, but then most likely drift up toward Texas or toward Mexico. Of course, Florence, the big one. Right now, this just in, Category 4 storm now. It was a special report issued just after the 12 noon hour that has increased the intensity to 130-mile-an-hour winds. So the forecast of intensity is kind of upped just a little bit, with perhaps a landfalling hurricane of a Category 3 or 4 status. We'll see how that plays out. Of course, its effect all along the eastern seaboard will be great in terms of erosion and heavy rain. West wind coming in at about 10 knots for us today. We'll look for a chance of rainfall at about 30% today and tomorrow, probably on Wednesday as well. Kind of a transition day on Wednesday as the winds shift and we return to that east wind pattern, which will bring us later day showers and thunderstorms and a rain chance of about 40%. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. In Health Smart today, staying active and eating right are keys to slimming the waistline, but are you eating a heart-healthy diet? It's more than just avoiding processed foods. Mary Maloney has the story.
Focusing on your heart starts with what you eat.
A high-fiber diet is very good for your heart.
Legumes such as beans, lentils, chickpeas, and black-eyed peas are full of soluble fiber, acting like a sponge to soak up the bad LDL cholesterol.
Your raw vegetables, your cooked vegetables are also going to be good for fiber. You don't find any fiber in animal products. So a heart-healthy diet is going to be lots and lots of plants.
Dark leafy greens such as spinach and kale are full of potassium, magnesium, and calcium. These mighty minerals help regulate your blood pressure. Both olive oil and avocados are great sources of monounsaturated fatty acids, which keep your bad LDL cholesterol levels in check and promote good HDL cholesterol levels. Fatty fish like salmon is packed with long-chain omega-3s. These compounds help lower blood pressure, make blood less likely to clot, and keep blood vessels healthy. But balance is key, so don't focus on eating 1 or 2 healthy foods and ignore the rest of your diet. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mary Maloney.
All right, time for lunch. Let's get over to the kitchen and say hello to JR from JR's Old Packing House Cafe in Sarasota. Great to have you back, JR. What's on the menu for today?
Today we're doing cornbread crusted basa. It's one of my favorites because it doesn't taste like fish, it tastes like cornbread. What an amazing thing.
From the moment she walked in the door, we stopped having to go to the pharmacy. Certain prescriptions, my health plan or the pharmacy wasn't even able to get here. And hospice provided them, and all we had to do was call up, and the next thing they know, there was another, a delivery.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
It's hard to see when you're outside at night. It's time for the Atomic Beam Sunblast, the new solar-powered light that's super bright. Atomic Beam Sunblast lets you add a light anywhere, and the atomic solar panels charge the built-in lithium-ion battery quickly. Then the 180-degree motion sensor turns on the light when you get near and automatically turns off when you disappear. Look, here's a best-selling outdoor solar light. And here's the Super Bright Atomic Beam Sunblast. Get the Super Bright Atomic Beam Sunblast for only $19.99. But wait, call right now and you can double your order and get a second Sunblast, plus our best-selling Atomic Beam Flashlight. Just pay a separate fee. That's 2 Atomic Beam Sunblasts and the Atomic Beam Flashlight. Call now.
Call 1-800-431-6640. That's 1-800-431-6640. Or visit mysunblast.com. So call 1-800-431-6640. Order now.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Temperatures are rising and the deals are heating up during the summer clearance event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota. Get KBB's 2017 Best Buy Award overall winner, the Chrysler Pacifica, for just $22,999. Or save big and get the new Chrysler 300 Touring with an MSRP over $30,000 for just $21,999. That's a savings of over $8,000. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota today.
New at noon, a puppy in Iowa is recovering after getting emergency treatment for meth exposure. Marcus McIntosh has more on how vets and the dog's owner intervened just in time.
Plans to show 5-month-old Kingsley at his very first dog show this weekend quickly changed because of how he was acting Thursday night. He was taken to the 24-hour Iowa Veterinary Specialties.
Head bobbing, tremoring, agitation, not mentally appropriate for a healthy puppy.
Dr. Braz did not examine Kingsley, but she says the vet on call came to one conclusion.
He was probably exposed to amphetamines, that his presenting signs were very typical for amphetamine exposure in dogs.
By Friday afternoon, Kingsley doing much better. His owner, Matthew Palmer, in town to show Kingsley and another dog, says he retraced his steps and concludes the likely source of his puppy's exposure.
Based upon the timing of the symptoms, it's likely that it was at the hotel.
Palmer says he examined room 108 at the Days Inn West in Clive and found a little something.
The small, muffin crumb size white powdery substance.
He called police, who tested the substance. It came back with a faint positive for methamphetamine, but there was not enough to do any more testing. It could be legal or prescription. Palmer says regardless, it will make him more diligent to make sure wherever he takes his animals, they are safe.
Unfortunately, I think a sign of the times that you would have to, be worried about this.
That was Marcus McIntosh reporting. Kingsley didn't end up competing in the dog show after the incident, obviously. Palmer has since moved to a different hotel. Well, while most of you were sleeping, a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket blasted off from Cape Canaveral overnight, boosting a Canadian communications satellite into orbit. 2, 1. Lighting up the overnight sky, the rocket's first stage engines ignited and throttled up to full power just before 1 o'clock this morning. The launch was initially delayed due to lightning and cloud cover in the area, but conditions improved enough to allow for a safe launch. And there it goes. All right, let's get back over to the kitchen. John is with our good friend JR from JR's Old Packing House Cafe. John?
And indeed, it smells great again here in the kitchen, JR.
So we're going to start off by seasoning our salt and our flour with our salt and pepper and garlic mixture. And then we're going to go on to breading our basa. We're going to put flour first. And then egg wash.
Now, basa is a fish that probably most people have eaten but may not recognize the name.
Yeah, they didn't bring it in just for me, by the way. It'd been nice, but so if I was doing this at home, though, what I would do is I'd double dip it so it gets really crusty and yummy. And so much for the calorie count, I guess. But you just shake it like that. This is a great meal, like after you made cornbread for the holidays and stuff like that, and you don't know what to do besides eat it all. You can fake it and put it on fish and call it a healthy meal. So we're going to start by. I started at home with some butter and some olive oil, and I'm going to put it facing away from me, so when it splashes, it doesn't splash. And that pretty much does that part of it, the concept. Then over here we have the same same already cooked over here. So we're just going to take that and flip it right over. Not helping me, but that's okay.
There you go.
Flip it right over and put it right there. We're going to add a little butter to this. And we're going to make like a mock sauce with it. A little light sauce. We're just going to put some, oops, come on. Don't be like that. A little bit of butter. Yeah, I know. What I call a little bit of butter, you might think is a little bit too much. And my wife will tell me that was entirely too much. But however, we'll go with that. Then as that cooks down, we will add a little bit of cornbread and kind of make a real light sauce, a little bit of flour, more like a roux, and that'll cook down for us.
Oh, I've never seen a roux made with cornbread. That's interesting.
Oh, it's, yeah, very heart healthy, kind of, sort of anyway. So that'll cook down and it'll get a nice light color to it. That's what we're looking for. If it was beef, we'd be looking to cook it longer, make it more brown, add a little wine. Yes, I know. What I call a little bit might be a bit much, but whatever. And it's got nice smell-o-vision, though.
Oh, it does. It smells great.
And if that's a little too little, we can always add a little more. And that'll come off like that. And put some lemon wedges in there. And as that does that little thing over there, this should have done its thing over here, so.
Got about 30 seconds left, and while you finish that up, I'll remind everybody that the recipe for this is on our website, mysuncoast.com. Click on the dining link page, and it will take you right there with Chef JR's video instructions. And have you added anything else to it during that?
No, we just did that. We poured it over the fish, and it gives a nice juicy flavor. You got nice fresh lemon, white wine, and the cornbread makes your roux with a little bit different flavor.
Fantastic. Can't wait to tuck in. JR, thank you very much. Appreciate it, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good one. Boom.
Boom.
We'll be right back.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Gettle's got what you're looking for at Gettle.com. 17 new car brands, over 1,000 used vehicles, prices and payments you can afford. Credit help if you need it, and they pay cash for your old car. Plus, Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Need service? Gettle's got that too. Gettle's got it. Visit Gettle.com.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help. With Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
You want a Maserati, but you need an SUV. Why not have both? Levante, the Maserati of SUVs.
Experience it at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
An amazing citizen.
Coming up, the family of a man who was shot and killed by a Texas police officer while in his own apartment speaking out today. Plus, a large gas line explosion in Pennsylvania where dozens of people had to be evacuated from their homes early this morning. And we're learning more about what caused more than a dozen dolphins to wash up dead in Suncoast waters.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 12:30.
Welcome back. A developing story now out of Dallas. A police officer is arrested after killing a man who was in his own apartment. The officer has since been released on bond, and the victim's family is demanding justice. John Lawrence reports.
A vigil this weekend for Botham John. The 26-year-old was fatally shot by Dallas police officer Amber Geiger.
We're still dealing in America with black people being killed in some of the most arbitrary ways. Driving while black, walking while black, and now we have to add living while black.
Authorities say John, a St. Lucia native, was in his apartment on Thursday when Geiger entered, mistakenly thinking it was her own place.
We know that although she clocked out, she was still in her uniform when she committed this crime. We know that she used her service weapon.
Geiger was arrested Sunday, charged with manslaughter, and released shortly after posting a $300,000 bond. Dallas Mayor Mike Rawlings issued a statement thanking the Texas Rangers for thoroughly investigating this tragic case, also asking the people to pray for John's family. John was an associate at PricewaterhouseCoopers and a worship leader and a Bible study teacher.
He was living, doing everything that you want a young person to do. He had no criminal history. He was an amazing student. He was an amazing citizen.
His funeral is scheduled for Thursday. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Geiger has been with Dallas police for 4 years. DallasNews.com reports she was involved in a non-fatal shooting last year after a suspect took her taser. However, she was not charged in that case. More than 24 people in western Pennsylvania evacuated from their homes this morning after a large gas line explosion. Reports of flames lighting up the sky came in just before 5 a.m. in Center Township, which is outside of Pittsburgh.
The whole sky lit up. I thought I was late for work. I looked at my watch. I said, geez, it's only 5, and the whole place was just lit up. And I looked on the other side of the house and at the window, and I seen them flames almost reaching into the sky. I said, unreal. I thought a plane crashed or something.
Center Township police say there were no injuries, but some people with pre-existing medical conditions needed medical assistance. Firefighters say there was damage to a house, garage, and vehicles. Serena Williams facing a $17,000 fine for code violations during her U.S. Open Finals loss on Saturday. That money will go to the International Tennis Federation's Grand Slam Development Fund. She's accused of a coaching violation after umpire Carlos Ramos said her coach gave her hand signals that weren't allowed. Williams denied the accusation. She was also docked a point during the game after she smashed her racket after misplaying a shot. A full game penalty was issued after she told the umpire, quote, "You stole a point from me and you are a thief." U.S. Open officials say the umpire's decision was not reviewable, while the Women's Tennis Association said they will be looking into what happened. Williams later congratulated her opponent, Naomi Osaka, for her victory in the final, which was the first for a Japanese player. All right, let's get to our weather now with meteorologist John Scalzi. And of course, we're talking hurricanes, but here at home, a west flow is back with us.
Yeah, and it's kind of picked up some of the reports from Mote Marine spotters of some irritants in the air at some of the beaches.
Not
as
surprised,
well. Yeah, and we're getting some heavy fish kill actually in St. Petersburg now. With some of those offshore areas of deeper red tide has kind of moved a little bit closer thanks to those winds. So we're looking at a pretty nice start to the day around here. The Van Wezel webcam put into motion shows, pretty nice conditions. But you'll notice those fast-moving clouds coming at us from Gulf waters and then moving onshore. Those are the effects of basically that westerly wind flow, and that's what we will continue to see throughout the afternoon. The showers building in mostly inland areas. So along the coastline for the next, I'd say, hour, maybe two at the most. You'll have some scattered showers around. Right now, the heaviest of the stuff located around the mouth of Charlotte Harbor. But as we head into the afternoon, the clouds will build, particularly in inland areas, and our rain chances will go up there. While along the coast, our rain chances will start to go down. By 3 p.m., I think we'll only have about a 10% chance of a coastal shower. Much better rain chances, however, east of the interstate, well east of the interstate in Hardy and DeSoto. Complete forecast for you coming up in a few. Scott.
All right, John, thank you. Test results confirm Mote Marine Lab's suspicions that many of the dead dolphins recovered last month in the area died from red tide exposure. Mote Marine recovering 16 dolphins from Suncoast waters during a 2-week span in August. Some of the carcasses recovered were highly decomposed, so it was difficult to get tissue samples. Mote Marine performed necropsies on the dolphins and then sent 10 tissue samples to an outside lab for a detailed analysis. Almost all of the dolphins recovered had stomachs full of fish, indicating the dolphins were exposed to red tide through their food.
It does take a while for that toxin to bioaccumulate up the food chain and reach the dolphins, which is why you might see kind of dolphins being affected a little bit later than sea turtles or manatees.
Mote Marine officials say the tissue was sent to a lab that processes red tide samples from throughout the state. That lab's currently receiving a lot of samples, which is why it took several weeks to get the results back. Beachgoers now in Pinellas County are dealing with red tide. Thousands of dead fish are washing up on about 20 miles of beaches along the Gulf. Crews will be cleaning up those dead fish into next week. This bloom started late last year and has been lingering in southwest Florida for months. And while there's no cure for the toxic algae bloom, the city of Venice will meet this week to try to reduce the severity of blooms when they happen. The Venice City Council will consider a resolution that encourages people and businesses to stop using fertilizer that contains nitrogen, phosphorus, or both year-round, both of which are believed to nourish red tide and aggravate blooms when they happen close to shore. They're also expected to talk about the development of a plan to monitor all surface water systems that drain into the Gulf of Mexico. And you can find all of our red tide coverage in one place by going to our website, mysuncoast.com/redtide. Now to a scary close call for a 7-year-old who was nearly hit by a speeding car as she tried to get on her school bus. This was all caught on home surveillance video. Paula Ferris has the story.
They are the harrowing videos that no parent wants to see. Children trying to board school buses nearly plowed down time and time again. Oh my God! And now this morning, one father is warning new parents about bus stop dangers after his home security system caught this near miss at the end of his driveway.
I look at this picture and it was really close.
Watch as David Cotarobel's sons wait patiently to board the bus for their 3rd day back to school. The bus extends its crossing arm and the stop sign begins to flash when suddenly this black car blows by, narrowly missing his 7-year-old by inches.
Fortunately, he was able to jump back and there was no injuries.
But close calls like these are a daily occurrence across the country. A 2018 survey of school bus drivers in 38 states and Washington, D.C. found that nearly 84,000 vehicles passed their buses illegally on a single day. That's an estimated 15 million violations during the school year. According to the National School Bus Loading and Unloading Survey, 8 children were killed getting on or off the school bus during the 2016-2017 school year. These accidents usually happen in what's called the danger zone. That's the area 10 feet in front, on the sides, and behind the school bus.
Paula Ferris reporting. With the safety of their students on the line, some school districts in 15 states are taking the matter into their own hands by installing cameras, like on the sides of school buses, to capture stop sign violators so that police can then issue tickets. Well, after 18 years, the president of the University of South Florida is now stepping down. President Judy Genshaft announcing her plan to retire this morning. She'll leave the university July 1st, 2019. In a letter, Genshaft says it has been an honor of her professional career to be part of the journey since 2000. According to USF, in those 18 years, enrollment has grown by 40%, while its graduation rate has tripled. Looking ahead, the downtown Venice beautification project is moving forward. Sidewalk demolition and replacement is set to begin on West Venice Avenue tomorrow. That work is expected to take about a week, and it may impact some business hours in that area. And this is a very good day to be a dog owner. This morning, the city of Sarasota opening its new Canine Club at Gillespie Park. It's just north of 10th Street, next to the basketball court. The Canine Club has two separate fenced areas, one for big dogs, the other for little ones. The dog park also has doggy drinking fountains, many newly planted trees, landscaping, and plenty of shaded areas. This is the second dog park in the city limits. The other one is at Arlington Park. Looks like fun. Still to come in your Suncoast News, with summer coming to an end, you may not be using your pool as often. We'll tell you how you can save some money while still keeping the pool clean.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do-it-yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Helping families with mesothelioma is all we do. My firm has been offering a free book on mesothelioma for over 10 years. Since that time, hundreds of people with mesothelioma have trusted us to represent them. We have local offices throughout the U.S. and there is no risk to you. Mesothelioma really is all we do. Call us at 1-800-485-6000. That's 1-800-485-6000. Or go to mesoonlylaw.com.
Get more for your money during the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Sunset Subaru. Subaru vehicles hold their value better than any other brand for 2018, according to ALG. And Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Forester is an IIHS top safety pick for 12 years running. Now, lease a new Subaru Forester for just $229 a month or get 0% financing with zero down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Call to see if you qualify to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan right now. At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable monthly plan premium, and in some areas, no plan premium. It's all described in this free book. Call for yours and discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. There is no obligation and the book is free. Call or go online right now.
Gettle's got what you're looking for at Gettle.com. 17 new car brands. Over 1,000 used vehicles. Prices and payments you can afford. Credit help if you need it. And they pay cash for your old car. Plus, Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Need service? Gettle's got that too. Gettle's got it. Visit Gettle.com.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Warming up with an 85-degree temperature and a dew point value at 76 thanks to the southwest wind. We'll have about a 30% chance of showers for the next hour or two until we start to get to the later part of the afternoon, and then our rain chances go down pretty quickly as most of the showery activity heads inland. We're already seeing one shower closing in on 75 Manatee area. That's About the only thing that's happening in the northern part of the viewing area. We've got some showers and even a pop or two of lightning down in the southern part of the viewing area. El Jabin seeing a pop of lightning along that roadway there, and then a little bit further to the north, Northport seeing some pretty good showers and perhaps a thunderstorm building there. Otherwise, this trend of a westerly wind continues for 2 more days. High pressure bringing us that westerly wind flow, encouraging morning showers that drift toward the other coast. Eventually, the high lifts north, we get an easterly wind, and the showers that build inland drift in the opposite direction, back toward our coast. So it's kind of a 180-degree reversal in the pattern that comes our way on Wednesday, which is a bit of a transition day. Today and tomorrow, west winds continue, morning showers, and we watch the tropics. Now, the effect of that west wind perhaps has had an influence on the amount of red tide toxins that are affecting beachgoers at various Mote Marine spotting locations. And they have indeed changed the report on the red tide status along those coastlines over the course of the weekend. When I left you on Friday, we had some green flags flying and an easterly wind blowing that signaled that there were no toxins causing respiratory irritation at a few beaches. Don't have that today. Today, the westerly wind continues, and we even have some intense amount of irritant in the air at Venice and Minnesota beaches, and other beaches showing moderate amounts. So hopefully we'll get that reversal in winds once again as we go into Wednesday, and maybe things will improve once again as we head into the upcoming weekend. Again, we have several locations that we continue to monitor. Disturbance 1 is one we have to keep our eye on. That one forecast to move into the Gulf waters. And when it does that, there will be the potential for some development. Forecast models are in pretty good agreement, though, that the same kind of flow patterns that will take Florence up toward the mid-Atlantic coast will also take this one up toward either Mexico or Texas. For us, Florence, again, now a Category 4 storm, continues on a track that takes it right up toward the Carolina coastlines. It's been shifted a little bit further to the south, but still a formidable major hurricane as it gets ready to make landfall. 2 other systems out in the Atlantic, Helene and Isaac, both of them showing better structure at this hour. Helene recurves out into the open waters, not too concerned about that. Isaac continues on a course that takes it into the Caribbean. Could well be torn apart by upper level winds, but there certainly some reason to watch this system, as there are some computer models that want to kind of carry it on a track that follows Florence, but too early to tell. We'll continue to watch it and let you know what happens with that one. Again, we're in the height of hurricane season, so always get your latest updated forecasts. West wind coming in at about 10 knots today. We'll look for, over the course of the next several days, about a 40% to 30% chance of showers, and then we'll change the direction of the winds on Thursday and Friday with a 40% chance of late day showers. And that will carry on into the beginning of next week. Perhaps next week our rain chances might go down a little bit by the influence of the drying around the periphery of what will be a landfalling hurricane in the mid-Atlantic. Florence, back to you.
John, thank you. Now to the latest in Washington and the firestorm in the White House ahead of tomorrow's release of Bob Woodward's new book. And Congress now less than 60 days away from the midterm election. ABC's Lana Zak is covering it all in Washington.
President Trump continues to tweet his frustrations with the upcoming book Fear, Trump in the White House, and its author, Bob Woodward, writing that he, quote, is a liar who is like a Dem operative prior to the midterms. He was caught cold even by NBC, following this moment on the Today Show.
Mostly anonymous sources in here. Why should people trust you?
Yes.
John Kelly now says, that never happened, I didn't say it. Jim Mattis, another person, quoted as saying the president's understanding is like a 5th or 6th grader. He comes out subsequently and says, I didn't say it. Are they lying?
They are not telling the truth.
And as the White House continues to seek out the author of the anonymous New York Times op-ed, Vice President Pence on Fox said he's ready to take a lie detector test to prove he and his staff had nothing to do with it.
I would agree to take it in a heartbeat.
The backdrop for all of this, the upcoming midterm elections. Republicans bracing for a potential loss of seats, and former President Barack Obama making his way back onto the campaign trail for his fellow Democrats.
We have a chance to restore some sanity in our politics.
And both presidents will be out on the campaign trail this week. President Obama in Ohio on Thursday, and the very next day we'll see President Trump in Mississippi. Lana Zak, ABC News, Washington.
In consumer news, Ford will not be building the Focus Active car in the United States. In a tweet Sunday, President Trump suggested the car would be, saying, quote, Ford has abruptly killed a plan to sell a Chinese-made small vehicle in the U.S. because of the prospect of higher U.S. tariffs. But in response, Ford clarified, tweeting, it would not be profitable to build the Focus Active in the U.S. given an expected annual sales volume of fewer than 50,000 vehicles. Company went on to say, quote, Ford is proud to employ more U.S. hourly workers and build more vehicles in the U.S. than any other automaker. Also, the price of Apple products might be getting more expensive because of tariffs. The U.S. has proposed $200 billion worth of tariffs on Chinese-made goods. So far, Apple says its wireless AirPods and the Apple Watch are the items that could see a price hike. Other tech companies, including Dell, Juniper Networks, and Hewlett-Packard, say tariffs could impact their products as well. As summer winds down, you may find you aren't using your pool quite as often, but there are some things you can do to save some money. The 3 key points to remember: sanitation, filtration, and circulation. By maintaining and testing the chemicals in your pool weekly, you avoid a green pool. And by running your pool equipment regularly, you can help avoid expensive repairs.
Homeowners make a mistake a lot of times by focusing just on the chlorine level and the pH. There's really more to it. You've got to check your alkalinity. Also, monthly you need to check your water hardness levels as well as your stabilizer.
If you're debating whether to get a saltwater or chlorine pool, keep in mind that although saltwater will save you money on the purchase of those chemicals, the system will need to be replaced more frequently, roughly every 3 to 4 years. Still to come in your Suncoast News, a classic Burt Reynolds movie is headed back to theaters. I'll tell you what you can expect to see right after this.
You like to pay less. That's why you made Honda Accord the best-selling midsize car in America. Get the redesigned Accord, the North American Car of the Year, or Civic, a KBB.com Best Buy for less than the competition. Like SUVs and trucks? Get Motor Trend's SUV of the Year, CR-V, the 8-passenger Pilot, or Ridgeline truck for up to $4,240 less today at your local Honda dealer.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call, and you cannot be turned down for any reason. Even if you have health problems or are living on a fixed income, Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance policies could work for you, with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
My mom didn't have life insurance and the cost all fell on me. And that's expensive. We're still paying for that.
Yeah, we're still paying for that.
Call 1-800-218-4991 now. In one phone call, you can help prepare your family with protection amounts up to $25,000. There are no medical tests or health questions. And remember, you cannot be turned down for any reason. In fact, TruStage policies are already protecting over 18 million Americans. And rates are designed to be affordable, starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease.
When I leave, everything will be taken care of for them.
Call 1-800-218-4991 now for a free, no-obligation quote. TruStage offers plans to fit your budget with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-218-4991 now.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
Coming up later today on ABC 7 News at 4, Casperson Beach still seeing high levels of toxins because of red tide. We'll hear how people are dealing with respiratory effects of red tide there. Plus, Sarasota County working with the United States Small Business Administration to provide small businesses impacted with red tide with financial resources. We hope you'll join us later today at 4 o'clock. In entertainment news, a Burt Reynolds classic is headed back to theaters. Rick Damigella has that story in the Hollywood Minute.
Where are we going? No, don't tell me. Let me guess.
The Bandit is racing back into theaters. AMC will re-release Smokey and the Bandit at 240 locations from September 12th through the 20th to honor the passing of Burt Reynolds. Deadline reports the action comedy was the second highest grossing film of 1977. Billboard reports during a concert in Nashville, Tennessee, Paramore announced they were taking a break from performing their 2007 hit Misery Business at future shows. Singer Hayley Williams said from the stage, "We wrote a song that now, as a 29-year-old woman, I don't know that I'd use the same language. Calling someone a whore isn't very cool."
We need to pray now. And whatever happens, whatever you may see or hear, keep your eyes forward and don't stop praying.
The Nun is a global hit. Variety reports the fifth film in the Conjuring movie franchise brought in $77.5 million at the international box office. Combined with its domestic grosses, the fright flick scared up more than $131 million in its debut. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
A new Miss America crowned last night in New Jersey. Nia Franklin of New York won the 92nd Miss America pageant held in Atlantic City. Franklin earned a master's degree in music composition from UNC School of the Arts. Franklin says she wants to be an advocate for the arts while wearing that crown. This was the first Miss America pageant that did not include a swimsuit competition. Miss Connecticut, by the way, was the runner-up. We also want to remind you that GMA Day premieres today, 1 o'clock, right after this.
That's right.
On ABC. Should be a great show to watch.
They say they've got some surprises in store.
Yeah,
so
looking
it should
forward
be
to
fun. Yeah. Again, we now have a Category 4 hurricane out in the Atlantic, headed toward the United States. So this is going to be a major story over the course of the week ahead. We're looking for perhaps a landfalling 3, 4, who knows, hurricane. And there's going to be some high probability of some beach erosion, flooding, and heavy rains.
Okay, we'll have the latest on that at 4 o'clock. We hope to see you then. Have a great day, everyone.